Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well, and labor in this word and doctrine. So, as you can see from this article, from this is the 7th of September, right? This is state law will release second-degree murder suspects without bail. And it says the end of days. And it goes. This is actually referring to Illinois as it reads here. When a new Illinois law that takes effect next year, it will do away with the cash bail system in the state. So in other words, people will pay a bail for certain people to be released. And what's crazy is it goes into it's just right here. Let me just read it. It says, it will do away with the cash bail system in the state, meaning suspects charged with felonies, including second-degree murder, which we looked into because we didn't even know what second-degree meant. Second-degree murder meant when you had an intent to harm, but you didn't necessarily mean to kill the person, but the person died, which of course is very subjective. And why you don't necessarily want to trust with that type of discernment. Though even though like the obvious thing is you don't necessarily have we don't necessarily hold the concept of putting people in jail. We don't hold it to high esteem. Jail time the way it is and whatnot. The thing we esteem is the laws in the scriptures for things like murder and whatnot. But as it reads, it says aggravated battery, right, and arson will be released without bail. There was more stuff, man. Kidnapping. What was the other one?
Aggravated assault.
Aggravated battery. It says that here, but what was the other thing? There's one. Even just burglary. There you go. But these things, man, kidnapping, man, and burglary. I can't even say that word.
I'll get the list if I can.
Bakusha. I mean, you had the.
Yeah, the screen. Just bear with.
Take your time. Damn, what happened? Oh, okay.
No, I didn't delete it.
What the hell? Where's it gone, man? Weird. That's weird.
Come off of this and I know I certainly did not delete it.
We're just going to look for the Slack. It was bear with us. We're just looking for that list of different things.
You know what? If I go back
Yeah.
to the person's, I'd rather just go on the vid.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
I'll pause it for now. Right, so we got the list and bro's going to read it.
Aggravated battery. Aggravated DUI.
Whoa, aggravate DUI. Okay, go ahead. Which could lead to so much danger, man, That's a dangerous thing. You can't trust can't trust most people when it comes to it. Some people will obviously tell you they can do I've heard people say that, but the point is you shouldn't really do that. We're not saying you should do that. You're going to have to follow what the rulers of the earth are saying and that kind of stuff. You don't want to get in trouble. And think about it, aggravated DUI. Fucking hell, keep going.
Aggravated fleeing. Arson.
Yeah, which is going to burning places, man. What the fuck, man? So somebody could just fucking burn up a place and it's whatever, no jail time for you. And again, we're not esteeming jail time, but we understand the way that the law of the land, the way it is with these wicked rulers. We understand this is all part of the Lord's judgment as well, to make people have judgments to be in a prison, But again, we're not esteeming prison. We're just saying, what are you doing to them, basically,
Drug-induced homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Intimidation. Kidnapping,
man. You go.
Robbery, second-degree murder, threatening a public official.
All right. So basically, they just don't give a fuck anymore, and that's the thing. That's the reason why we're like, God damn, what are you gonna do then? Because he just don't care. He's always like, I don't even give a fuck. Just do what you want to do. Go ahead and just create more chaos, and we'll pretend we're the people who are gonna wear our capes and all that kind of shit. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
This is a very unrighteous decree. There has to be very set judgment. Stealing somebody, man. Stealing someone's child, man. Keep it going.
Verse 2. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yep. That they can basically just take everything they want, take everything from everyone. Just be the greedy people who get to live in abundance, but people don't get to even have safety in some way or another. No, people are going to be able to do that and keep it pushing, man. Keep it out on the street, keep living their lives as these things. And one of the things you were saying is that law that doesn't make sense. Some people will sell weed, right? And then on one side of that, and a person who sells weed, if he gets caught in one state, he'll be in jail, and in one state they'll be prescribing it as medicine. It's confusion, man. All right, isn't that's all one big city, but they don't even have the same law within the city. So it's all fucking confusion, man. As it is, Babylon, confusion with mixing.
That's right.
When you're mixing ideologies, you're fucked up, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah 3:11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him.
Right. Because, we're not going to give a fuck about them in a time when they have to go to captivity, man. When they get their heavy judgment, it's going to be a wrap for them, man. All right? But keep reading this. Says the counter signal reports the Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity Today Act, also called the Safety Act, would end cash bail and includes 12 non-detainable offences: second-degree murder, aggravated battery, and arson without bail, as well as drug-induced homicide, kidnapping, burglary, robbery, intimidation, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, drug offences, and threatening a public official. Saki, it was on the article, forgive us. Because when the law takes effect on January 1st, 2023, criminals charged with the crimes mentioned above will be released without bail. Released without bail.
Look at
that. Man. Now, if you go down, the bail system will be replaced by a system that considers the offence severity, the risk of not appearing in court, and the potential threat to the community if a person is released. All right, they just don't give a fuck, man. That's the thing. They want chaos to happen because they're the damn devil. This is part of their experiment. Let's see how much shit can go down. Illinois is about to get fucking way worse, man. Because I had to check in. I had to ask the brother Azan as well. I was like, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Illinois already like a really high crime place? I know Chicago's in Illinois.
That's right, the capital, I believe. And you already have Los Angeles, the state of Los Angeles, and look how,
fucked up is there.
That's right, how violent it is there. This is Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth.
Yep.
For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
Right. So we can't do nothing about it. The wrong judgments are going to happen because the wicked are in rulership. And compassing means to circle around. They're all around us, man. All right. And now more criminals will be all around certain people in Illinois, and we don't know exactly how do I say? We don't know if this is not going to happen here. We don't know if this could happen around England. It could happen everywhere, man. Basically just like the movies, the Purge, man. All that anarchy and whatnot, which we've already talked about. Scripture, people going crazy, not considering their princes. Let's get that real quick. That's going to be in 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, I believe. 17 I'll start with. There you go. Man. I usually, because that's what I was thinking about, that scripture. You saw it. There you go. Here it is. 2 15 and verse, I'll start 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Like people will indeed have weapons, and they're going to go against each other and fight one another for many reasons. But verse 16 says, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. There's going to be a time when, even if the law of the land says such, they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to keep going crazy, man. This total chaos, man, and that's a fearful time for for essentially that can bring some fear in our hearts because we know the Lord's doing it, but that's got to strengthen our faith and make us be even more circumspect.
Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. Behold you among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you.
Yep. And this is like in Isaiah 59. And when you go verse 15, it says, Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. Right? If you depart from evil, you're a prey, man. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment, right? Because right now the Most High, he's of course ordaining all this, but not for his pleasure, for him to bring bring the destruction as a judgment, and then to destroy Babylon the Great using Yahushua and the elect with the angels up in the chariots. And of course the ICBM missiles will be launched, right? Because the EU, NATO, and Russia, which is not a part of those two things, will indeed destroy America, man. World War III is going to happen. All manner of chaos will happen. And this is just an example of how the laws are so fucked up. Of course, some level of wickedness will pollute the earth, man. It's going to happen more and more. Go ahead.
That's right. You know, and this act that they're bringing out for January the 1st, 2023, you know, that's going to play right into Jacob's trouble as well.
Right.
You know, that's going to be, you know, what's the word? A crucial time as well, because, you know, they're all let out, you know, for offences such as that. You know, and Jacob's trouble is going to be, you know, a devastating time to come.
Mm-hmm. There's Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Right, because you know they're gonna want to do more evil because there's no real judgment for them, man. We had specific laws for certain things, man. Like, you know,
That's right.
that would make things more efficient. Again, we're not esteeming jail, the concept of putting someone in jail like that. All right, but sometimes you'd have to ban someone and declare judgment, and then once it's declared, you push it out. Sometimes you'd be stoned to death. All right, sometimes you have to pay back if you're a thief. You know, you have to pay back sevenfold, man.
That's right. Laws are there for a reason, righteous laws, you know.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. All right, so though his time is prolonged, it's only going to really be well for those that are of the elect, man. Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High. There you go.
That's right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
There you go. All right, the just shall live by his faith, man. All right, but you know he's wicked, man. He ain't got it like that, man. All right, because he's everything he desires is of the wicked, of wickedness. Sorry, because he is the wicked. Right. His desires, as you go down to verse 5, you know, he enlarges his desire as hell, and he wants to make his heaven on earth, which is the hell for us to manifest. So this is a perfect thing for him to do. Okay, create more wickedness, man. While he sits in rest in abundance, as you know, many of the elites, right? Because the low level E's are going to get caught up in this. They're going to get their judgment through this, man, through the Lord's will. This is all the Lord's will, man.
Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine,
which goes into doctrine. Go ahead.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations.
Yep.
And heapeth unto him all people.
Mm-hmm. And when we don't see each other in someone, like, because one of the things that terminology was, because I was listening to Andrew Tate have a discussion with an individual on this podcast, some guy called James English, and he's talking about how in Romania, which is where he lives, you know, women go out in the middle of the night walking around in parks and stuff, and there's no fear. And, you know, Andrew would be like, you know, why is, you know, how come this, you know, why is she doing that, basically? And they'll be like, well, she's Romanian. Why would they hurt another Romanian? Because they see each other in each other, right? If you're in a nation, you know each other's family, and if you don't, you can be like, oh, he's his son. I've heard of him before. And you're all protecting each other. You've got, you know, it's about protection, man. But when you're having an integrated society, no one gives a fuck. Everyone's just doing their own thing, being about their own business. And all the giving a fucks is usually fake giving a fucks. It's not really giving a fuck.
Habakkuk 2 verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Right, the water. All right, the land of Babylon, let's go to verse 12. Habakkuk 2 and 12. Woe to him that built the town with blood and established the city by iniquity. That's exactly how America was built. So of course more bloodshed's going to come. More iniquity is going to, you know, prevail in that land, because that's exactly what made that land even what it is today. Right? These damn devils, they've implemented laws that are unrighteous from the beginning. So all it's going to do is be more unrighteous.
Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land.
So again, blood defiles the land. So that bloodshed of the land is defiling it. It's polluted, man. Keep going.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
There you go. That's what's going to happen, man. Now, blood has to be shed on the land, and it shall certainly be. All right, it's going to be one giant desert.
Second Edges 15.
What's this saying? So over here it reads, where am I? Yeah. This is when signed the legislation, Governor J.B. Pritzker remarked the measure marks a substantial step toward dismantling the systematic racism that plagues our communities, our state, and our nation, and brings us closer to true safety, true fairness, and true justice. What a fucking serpent, man. The fuck you on about? This is according to the outlet. Supporters of the measure say it's a step in making the justice system equal and fair, especially for minority communities. Fucking crazy, man. And this is what they always do, especially for minorities, especially for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, those of the of a deprived environment,
which they set up the conditions for anyway. Look how back in the 80s, how they put crack cocaine in their communities, our communities, and then look what happened when the scamdemic happened. Who needed to be juiced up first? Our, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American people.
Because it was for you.
Yeah.
These guys aren't for you, man. They're really the serpent. They're really very subtle and crafty to make you believe they're for you when they're nothing but against you. They're only really for themselves, and only when I say themselves, I mean the elites are for themselves and not for the whole nation. They don't give a fuck about. They give zero fucks about the low levels of their nation, man. The peons, as people will say. What does it say? Supporters of the... We'll go down here. The 800-page law also addresses the detainee rights, police certification standards, use of force, and body cameras, but it's the ending of the cash bail system that's getting the most attention. So it also... Man, use of force and body cameras, what it's saying. Well, use of force for the police, so they can't use... See, again, it's gonna refrain them from doing shit. That's what it's about, man, making more violence occur, because these people are the violent. These are violent people, man.
No, Genesis 25 and 25, his sword is his blessing.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2nd Edges chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And that's Edges, speaking. Who will deliver him in those days? Because, he's seen, the times to come, these devastating times. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
The powers shall stand in fear. How much more the citizens who are under the powers? Go ahead.
The beginning of evils, and evils mean bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Mm-hmm.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. I've sent as scourges for amendment.
Right, scourges for amendment, whipping for you to amend your ways. But keep going.
But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. Mm-hmm. Nor be always mindful of the scourges.
There you go. See, they're not gonna be able to understand what to do. This is all just gonna make things even worse, like for their confused states, man. All right, they're not gonna understand the fear of the Lord. They're not gonna understand how to operate in this time, man. Okay. And let's go down to verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. There you go.
That's right. So if you get away from one thing, and you even manage to get away from a second thing, then the third thing will take you.
Mm-hmm.
So, it goes into how there's no escaping.
Yep. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down.
That's right, man. Bodies everywhere.
Yep.
All right. And, hey, that's a great feast for the animals to come in,
Uh-huh.
Well, it's going to be a great, stench as well.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 24. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
Yep.
The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them?
Right. There's not going to be those like the labouring of such and fruitfulness of the land and whatnot. Add to the famine, of course. It's going to be a big major part of it.
The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice.
You're going to want to hear someone's voice, but they're going to have to hear voices, man. Man, could you even like fucking picture the minds of people like not even hearing another person speak and going being distant from everyone? Think about things like I Am Legend or like Like, again, Book of Eli, which you mentioned a lot. I'm Legend's a good one because he's literally just him and his dog.
You know, yeah. Or even certain TV shows like The Walking Dead, you'll have instances where, people are getting away from the zombies and they've been, stranded on the run and they're trying to survive and they've not come across another survivor. Verse 28, for of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks.
We'll end it there with this scripture. But as it reads, supporters of the law say the cash bail system is not fair for poor defendants, but a rising chorus of law enforcement officials and prosecutors across the prairie state are sounding the alarm. State attorney says it will be the end of days when law goes into effect. Well, country state's attorney James Glasgow said in a YouTube video, it will be the end of days once the law kicks in. He says the hands of police, prosecutors, and judges will be tied. Right. Certainly, man. That's exactly what's gonna happen, man. Right. Ecclesiastes,
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 13. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand.
Right. Because those possessions, those are ill-gotten gain, man. Again, the foundation of Babylon, is full of blood and iniquity. So this is all part of it. It's all part of the beginning of all hell breaking loose and all out anarchy, all out fucking just to hell, man. Because violence is it's not a joke, it's not a game. So when people start seeing more violence and more wickedness occurring, they're gonna lose their sanity, man. They were never seen it coming. All right.
That's right. Next year is looking like the year of hell. Matthew 24 verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Perfect. The love of many shall wax cold. People won't have that love for each other or care or anything, man. Yeah, man. But the
point's been made.
This is all perfect. This is all exactly what needs to happen. I don't know what to say. This video was edifying for those who are, sincere in this truth, to understand, times are going to get violent. Of course, some of you brothers live in Illinois, right? Times are about to get real violent, and you're gonna get a first-hand sight of it if when this stuff goes down. If I don't know what to say. You never know. For all we know, the deliverance will come before so-called January 1st. But if not so, you're gonna see. We're gonna see. No matter what, though, we're all gonna see wickedness prevail on the earth before the end comes. All right. We're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom.
Shalom.